All right, we are live, Tombo.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, you're hearing my voice. I, Thomas Wiles, will be doing the introduction today for this very special guest. The boys today dive out of Sudbury and take our talents west to interview this fine young gentleman who is a Sault Ste. Marie native. Yes, baby, we are the Northern Ontario podcast. This individual was drafted in the 5th round, 98th overall, to the OHL in 2017, where he was selected by his hometown team of the Sault Greyhounds. Through his first 4 years into the league, he has tallied up 126 points through a total of 171 games thus far. Not to mention in 2017-2018, he was a member of the team that won the OHL Wayne Gretzky Trophy. Not a big deal. We are pleased today to be joined by Mr. Cole MacKay. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Wow. That was awesome, Tom.
That was good, eh?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks,
That
buddy.
felt good.
Got to get the feet moving right off the hop.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us where you're at right now. Like last time we talked, you were with the Marlies with an what was the word?
Little ATO action.
ATO. So are you home? Are you getting
Yeah.
ready? Are you getting ready for the OHL startup?
Yeah. No. After we talked there, I went home. I think a week or two after that. Been home ever since. Been skating a ton. Now, not so much because with the lockdown, but staying in the gym, kind of just waiting to hear something, whether it's good or bad news. We haven't really heard much. So, yeah, I'm just at home and enjoy everything I can. Good weather helps now, though. Snow's almost
Absolutely,
gone here.
absolutely. Golf season's almost on the horizon too. Watch out.
Oh yeah, of course.
Love it, buddy.
Sure.
Okay, let's dive in right into it. The first question we ask everyone: how did you get into hockey, and what kind of made you stick with it?
Yeah, my story's pretty, typical Canadian kid living up growing up in a small town. My dad, grandpa, brother, uncles, they all played, so it was kind of natural.
Mm-hmm.
Mini sticks in my living room, outdoor rink in the winters. And then it pretty much just stuck from there. It was kind of a family thing, and I never looked back. All my family still watches every game and text me after every game with a little bit of information, what they think they can help me with. It's great. Like I never really look back on the time I was born. I'm lucky that way.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. That's awesome. And was there like a particular moment for you, Macro, where you're like this is something I want to pursue. Like I want to stick with this and see where I can go with it.
Well, yeah, that was always kind of not the plan, but my dad always told me, just play as long as you can, be the best person and player you can be, and wherever it takes you, it takes you. So that's what I've kind of had in the back of my mind this whole way was just, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm playing in the NHL one day, but if I could be the best player and the best person I am, and it takes me that far, then awesome. And if it doesn't, so be it, whatever. But I never really had a set thing that I was going to go to the NHL, and if I don't, I'm a failure or whatever. It's just kind of go as far as I can and do the best I can. So
I like that take. I like that take.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we'll kind of move to your midget year. So you kind of played Sault minor hockey all the way up, and we noticed that you moved to Kitch for your midget year. What was the process and mindset behind that?
Well, you guys, I don't know if you guys would have experienced that in Sudbury with Tom, but minor midget year in the Sault, all along there was a minor midget team, like solely the 15-year-olds. Right. And then as it got closer to my year, it kind of moved away from that. I think my brother, the 98s, were the last team to have a legit minor midget team. And there obviously wasn't a league for it. They were just playing in the midget league. So yeah, that was kind of like an indicator that maybe I should go and try just play minor midget somewhere else. And my dad, he played junior hockey in Waterloo and Kitchener, so he knew some people. Just formulated from there. It was a slow process getting releases and everything, but at the end of the day, I think it worked out for me. And even like take a guy who didn't leave, Cam Baver, who got drafted 3rd round to Saginaw, like it worked out for him. So there's not a right way to do it, but I think for me in this case, the coach I had was amazing, and the process of being away from home was pretty cool. And funny enough, I ended up back home. So
yeah, no doubt. Yeah. That's actually so interesting because Sudbury's kind of in the debate right now on whether they should keep their minor midget team too, because we've noticed the Sault's got rid of it. Timmins got rid of like their AAA program almost completely, right? So it's interesting to see what's your take on that.
It definitely is interesting. Like it all just comes down to who you're going to play against, right? Like if Sudbury's the only team to have a minor midget program, then it's pretty much they're going to go down to Toronto and get their tournaments in and whatnot. But they're playing the big chunkier games against. How old does midget go? 18 now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're playing the 18, 17, 16-year-olds. Like to me, like if you can do it, probably stick with it. Like if they have the kids. I know, was it last year or 2 years ago where they had a really good team? I think 2 years ago, right? With Stillman and
Yeah,
a couple
they were
of those other
loaded with
guys. So
Drew.
like if you can get that, like that represents the North well, and especially Sudbury. I don't know, but if they're struggling to put a team together and travel costs get a little bit ridiculous, then you might have to lean towards just combining it with a midget team, and that's kind of why we did it here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's smart because actually Quebec is all minor majors to combine too, and Macker, it's a good thing you left minor midget because you would have had to play against me. So, I mean,
Dodged a bullet there for sure.
we'll leave it at that.
GNML vet.
I would have had the age on him.
fun.
After that minor midget year, Macker, you actually get drafted by your hometown team of the Sioux Greyhounds. Run us through like draft day and like the emotions of getting a call from them.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah. So draft day, the OHL draft is it's a really good day for only a select few kids. Like as weird as
So
that
true.
sounds, like 290 some guys get drafted, but it's really only like a 100% happy day for probably the first 2 rounds. But because everyone thinks they're going high or whatever, and
Right.
I fell into that trap. Like you go through your whole minor midget year and reading Twitter, people telling you stuff, oh, you're going here, you're going there. So you kind of just say, oh, maybe I could squeak in the first 2 rounds, whatever. And that everyone talks about that. If you're first rounder, you're this big deal. But so draft day, kind of woke up, put it on the TV, had family over, kind of expecting it to be a good day, like full of just smooth sailing, like no issues. But as time went on, and then I see buddies go of mine, which like to me at a young age of 50 and you're still happy for them, but it's kind of like, man, I'm jealous. Like,
For sure.
when am I going here? So
Yeah.
I kind of experienced that a little bit with a couple of guys from Kitchener and then Baber. So then it kind of got tough after that. I think the 4th round, once it got into the 4th, I was kind of like, okay, like what's going on here? Like stopped watching for a bit, went upstairs, like had my moment, like the whole thing. And then went back down and my grandpa actually, he was the only one watching the screen at the time. And then the Sioux popped up and he said it. Like I didn't even get a call before, which is usually what happens. And he just read it out on the screen. He's like, Cole MacKay, the Sioux Greyhounds. And it was wild. Like
That's
every
crazy.
every emotion up to that point was like, it was over with. Like I was just
Yeah,
so
release,
happy. Like,
just
yeah.
weight off your shoulders, man. That's
Yeah. And
what a
funny
cool
enough,
story.
like before the year, like I set my goal, like I wrote down my goals, and one of the goals was drafted in the top 5 rounds. And I think I was like the second last pick in the 5th round or something. So
There you
still
go.
hit my goal, I guess.
That's
So,
right,
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, it
Doesn't
was
matter
good.
where you
It
go.
was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were looking at Twitter and like where you were going to go and stuff like that. Were there any other teams on the radar that you were expected to maybe go on that you like they didn't draft you type of thing?
Yeah, something I heard, who knows if it's true. Like no one really knows anything.
If it's on the internet, it's got to be true.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, like we went through with my agent the couple days before. He kind of just went through all the he told me like where they had me sitting at, whether that's rounds 3 to 5 or whatever. And there was one team that had me top 40, which is second top 2 rounds, and that was Ottawa. So Ottawa, obviously didn't draft me, but like that's a team that I kind of thought maybe okay, they have me rated higher than anyone else, maybe. And I believe it came the 2nd round, Ottawa's pick. It was late 2nd, and I was like, okay, maybe this is where I'm going. And then they draft Jack Quinn, another right winger, my age.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they didn't miss the mark on that guy, but that was one of the teams that I maybe had in mind that morning. But I mean, in hindsight, I can't really complain about anything. Like it worked out for him, worked out for me, and for a lot of guys it did too. So yeah, it's a weird day.
No doubt. Like,
Yeah.
did the Sioux ever talk to you before draft day at all?
Yeah, they were one of the couple teams I talked to twice.
Okay.
So I kind of got a good indication from that, but I never really thought like they were high up on me. But
For sure.
I guess it happened.
Unreal.
So.
And
no,
man,
I was gonna say,
Tom,
Alex, I was
go
like,
go
yeah,
ahead.
sorry. No, I'm actually happy that the Sioux organization actually drafts locally because, as you maybe know, here in Sudbury, they don't
Mhm.
even bother sniffing anybody that's
Mhm.
born here. So that's good to see, Mac, that you actually,
Yeah.
like, I feel good, like, happy for you that you got drafted by your home team. But in the sense, maybe you, like, were you planning on hopefully maybe moving away out of the city and maybe to somewhere new? Like, Ottawa would have been a sick time if you went
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, I tell people this all the time. Like, there comes with their pros and cons. Like,
Yeah.
there's pros of staying at home and getting your mom's cooking and not having to deal with new billets and whatnot. And then
Absolutely.
there's also when you want to go out with the boys and your mom's saying, "Where are you? Like, what's going on?" Like,
Yeah.
so that kind of, as you get older, like I'm 19, almost 20 now, and it's kind of like, okay, mom, like, let me do my thing. Like, but I think I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna look back and be happy that I'm here. But I kind of got that experience when I went to got the billet situation and that kind of experience. It's something I miss, but I mean, it's something I'll get when I go to university too. So
Absolutely.
I'm not too worried about it. But there definitely is their pros and cons when it's a Friday night after a game. But
No doubt.
whatever.
When the boys
Super.
want to rip the Sioux
Yeah,
Blaster, no doubt.
There it is, Jim.
yeah.
I knew that
I
was
always
coming.
plug in the Sioux Blaster.
Two blast. Don't even go there. Come on.
All right. So let's move into your rookie year. And I mean, talk about just things aligning. You end up like one of the probably the greatest Sioux Greyhounds team ever assembled. 55-7-3-3 franchise record, 23 game winning streak franchise record, 27 home game winning streak is the second longest in OHL history. What's it like being a rookie on that team? Obviously, the players too: Barrett Hayden, Morgan Frost, Kachuk, to name a few. I think Radish was on that team too, like loaded. So, what was it like coming into a team like that as a rookie?
Yeah. Well, I could talk forever about that, but
Yeah,
starting from the start, like I think I mentioned it last time I was on. I signed out of training camp, so pretty much that means like they weren't like they didn't sign me before, so they weren't planning on me being on the team, whatever.
right.
I guess I showed well at training camp, signed. Then I hurt my knee, talked about that, came back, got a couple games, and I played really well. I was playing with Frost and Kachuk when I
Unreal,
first got
dude.
in. I was like,
So
this is,
sick.
and I was scoring every game. I'm like, this league's easy. Like, what's going on? And then, sure enough, I think we had a couple of injuries at the time, or guys were away at NHL camps or whatever. They came back, and then I fell into my place. And you could talk to Brett about it, the fourth, fifth line that we shared the whole year. But yeah, like on that win streak, you knew the numbers, but it was like once it got into like 15, 16, it was kind of like, what's going on? Like, we can't lose, like all this
Yeah,
stuff. Like we were going down like 4-2 into the third, and then it was a different guy every night. Like Boris would have a hat trick in the third, or Frosty would take over. Like it was special. And then the game we lost in Mississauga, it was Owen Tippett pretty much beat us single handedly. He had a hat trick and a shootout winner. But even in that game, we were down 3-0 early in the first, and then we scored, I think, too late in the third to tie it. So, I mean, that team was really special, and unfortunately, we ran into Hamilton, who also had a pretty good team. But yeah, what a year! It was really fun.
was there a point where guys would like look at the schedule and they're like, "We're not going to lose for like a month"? Was it coming to that point? Because I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
for sure.
you guys went on another like winning streak,
Mhm.
and it was like 22 games, which is wild to
Yeah.
have two in 1 year.
Yeah, and it was we were in the middle of it, and then when we picked up Radish, obviously, like that guy, and then
Sick.
he showed out for us like right away. Like he was
Yeah.
one of the best like pickups in the league that year. He had a goal a game for the first 2 months or whatever. So,
Jesus.
but yeah, as a rookie who's on the fourth, fifth line in and out of the lineup, who's really not a making or breaking game, it's kind of like, okay, like I see our lineup, like I see who we're playing. It's like when are we gonna lose here? Like, so it was fun. I was really lucky to get to hang around that full season, because there's definitely times where I thought I'd be sent down to play with the Thunderbirds or something. But
Mhm.
I was lucky to stick around, and yeah, it was a blast.
Wow, dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Jim, that Sioux team, like for betting odds, is like you bet $100, like you only win like $1 and
$101. Yeah,
101.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were a
Jack was
mortal
texting.
lock.
Jacko's texting me that year saying, "Yo, put $100 on for me. It's a guaranteed block." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm only making $1. Like, why bother?" And then you go from 14 points in 42 games your rookie year to having 61 points in 65 games the following year in 2018. Like, kind of describe your game for our listeners and our fans who don't know who Mr. Cole MacKay is.
Okay. Well, I like to describe myself as a two-way scoring winger who can, contribute on the power play, penalty kill, kind of all situations. Get in front of the net in the power play. Pretty much just like a Swiss Army knife. I don't know, like
Nice.
there's not too much that I shy away from, but obviously I have a lot to work on. But yeah, like two-way forward who can put the
Nice.
puck in the net and whatever.
Like it.
But yeah, what were you saying there, Tom?
No, I was
What'd you
saying,
say,
but like
Tom?
that was actually my next question because you went from 14 points to having
Yeah, that's what I was saying,
61. Yeah, like what
Yeah.
changed from you getting 14 to 61? Was it just a better off season or just like a confidence level type of thing?
A little bit of both. I mean, like the off season, I've always worked hard in the off season, or at least I think I do. But so yeah, like the off season, nothing really changed too much. Like there's always like you never really know. I always feel like this in the summer. It's like by the time July rolls around, it's like, am I really better than I was in May? But you really start to see it when you start playing. So when we got back playing, we had new coaches. I was getting a little bit more of an opportunity, obviously, and then I think the first two games I had 0 goals, 0 assists, but I was like getting chances. So I started to realize like, okay, like maybe I could actually do something in this league, score goals, whatever. And then there was this game in London, like this is a big game for me. I had 2 goals, like one tap in, like that was just laying there, and then another one, like I came up across the blue, and it was a nice shot, beat the goalie clean, and then from that point it was kind of like the ball started rolling, and then 2 weeks later I still had almost a point per game, and it was kind of that's how it kind of came to be in my mind. Like it wasn't like, okay, like I'm gonna go into the season and score 20. Like
Right.
it was just kind of all unfolded in front of me, and I didn't even realize it was happening. It was cool to see. But I guess yeah, the off season did really help because I came back a different player and more confidence, like you said, Tom. It kind of built over the year, and I mean, I still was playing with good line mates, Morgan Frost, Barrett Hayton. Those guys obviously really helped, but yeah, it was a fun year, and it was nice to know that that I could make a difference in the league and be a good player. So it was good.
Sure.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And then we have to get into you guys winning the Wayne Gretzky trophy. So that's the trophy for you, like the team that wins the Western Conference, correct?
Yeah.
Run us through that game 7 because from what I was reading, it was double overtime, and from what I remember, I actually was watching, and that game was back and forth all night, and you guys ended up pulling through. So like, run us through that game and obviously winning with your friends and your teammates.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The whole playoffs, it was kind of me and Brett. We kind of joke about it. Like we were both right wings on the fourth line. Like if it wasn't me in the lineup, it was Brett, and if it wasn't Brett, it was me. And really, there was no difference because we'd play 1 or 2 shifts anyways. But I happened to play that game 7, which I really wanted to. I really wanted to be in my gear with the boys if we won, but really doesn't matter. So anyways, we play, me and Trotter, we play on the fourth line with one of the vet centers just so they have some safety valve out there. But first period, 10 minutes, that's our first shift of the game, and that happened to be our last shift of the game. So I pretty much had the best seats in the house the whole game, right on the bench. But I can't remember exactly how it went, but I do know that Logan Stanley scored to tie it.
He did.
With under a minute left. And I remember sitting on the bench, I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding me. Like we're like a minute away from having this big celebration with the trophy and everything. Like that's all I'm thinking about. Cause I know I'm not playing now, but and then we go back into the room. There's actually a really funny story about this. Okay. So we go back in the room. I can't remember if it was right after regulation or right after the first overtime, but so Boris Kachuk always had this thing, like he'd take his Gatorade cup and flip it. And if it landed like right side up with the open side, like facing up, like it was a really good thing. Like you tape a box around it, tape it so it wouldn't fall over. It was kind of like a good luck thing. And then everyone started doing that. By the end of the year, it was like this team thing. Like we still do it today, but that year it really started. And then so in one of the intermissions and overtime, whatever, we're going around, and Boris, he was kind of like a laid back, like whatever. He says, "Okay, boys, simple enough. If we hit one, we're winning this game. If we don't, we might lose." Like he
Holy
just had it
shit.
right out. And we go around, everyone misses, and Barrett kind of never really. He wasn't one with that, boys. So we go. He's taping his stick. He's the last one to do it. And Boris says it again. He says, "Barrett, you got to hit this or we don't win." So he goes. It's like Barrett goes, like he's just relaxed, whatever. Flips it, hits it. Like it's like this is like a rare thing to happen. Like to hit it last try. Like it doesn't happen every game. And
Oh
the boys
my
go
God,
crazy,
dude.
like all this shit. Like boys are going nuts, like feeling good. It's just funny. Me and Trotter sitting there like haven't played in 3 hours. Like we're just loving
Legs
it.
are
Like,
absolute jello.
yeah. Oh yeah. And then we go out, sure enough, and then Jacko scores what you might call a soft goal, but I mean a playoff goal in that sense. Like it was just
Double
cut
OT
across the
doesn't
middle.
matter.
It was right on the ice, and it goes in, and it was wild. Like I was on the bench, like didn't play, and I was blacked out, like so
Yeah, no
excited,
kidding.
jumping on the goalie, and then the whole crowd's going crazy, and we got the trophy and everything. So that
So
was
sick.
it was special. Yeah,
So
for sure.
sick. So
Mhm.
so you mentioned one thing. I don't know if you were around for it because you talk about you and Jacko flipping at like every game. There's this video of Jacko. If you were, I don't know if you were around, but he got called into the lineup. I don't know in how long, and he goes to the jersey rack and he opens up and he finds his jersey and he dusts it off. You ever seen that video?
No, I haven't. That must have been one he just showed you guys, but I don't doubt that at all. I've had a similar, like me and
Oh,
Brett could go a couple weeks without playing. So
yeah, I
that's
gotta
funny.
send you that one. It's one of
Oh,
my
Yeah.
favorite videos of all time. All
it
time.
is
You gotta
gold.
ask him. It is gold. But yeah, let's continue. Let's keep going through this playoff run tough.
Yeah. So then you guys end up going into the finals against Hamilton, but you ended up unfortunately losing. Run us through like that whole playoffs experience and like who did Hamilton have that year?
Well, to start off, I don't know who they had. They had Sagen, Isaac Nurse. They
Strom, I
pretty
think.
much, yeah, Strom, Stillman. Oh no, Stillman was a trade. So they picked up Robert Thomas, who
Jesus.
I think was probably the best player that I've seen, like played against in the O.
Yeah.
That could be my younger self talking, but he was like legit. He's in the NHL now, but so
Yeah,
Robert
won a cup
Thomas,
too. Yeah.
Nick Camano, who's on Dallas. They picked him up. Moore from Flint. Stillman, who's playing for Florida now. And then yeah, like they added a lot of depth, and they had those top guys to kind of run them through. But yeah, they had an easy run, not an easy run, but quick. Like they made quick work of everyone up until the finals.
Right.
And we unfortunately, like against Owen Sound, we went to 7.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't have. We went to 7 against Kitchener. Again, blew a 3-1 lead or something almost.
Mhm.
So not to say like that was an excuse, but we just had more games to play, and then we got there, and oh my God, have you guys ever been to the Hamilton Arena?
No.
No.
Well, it's like an NHL rink. Like they have 2
Yeah,
bowls,
because it was
whatever.
the
And
old AHL rink. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they have the 2 bowls. They shut the second bowl off, but
Right.
even in the first bowl, like I think they could fit almost 10K people. So
That's
we
crazy.
get in there first game. I think no, we start off at home. So we start off and they do a whiteout in the Sioux, and with the white
It's
t-shirts, like
so
everyone has.
sick. So
And
sick.
I was lucky enough to play, and I think I played both games, but like even in warm-ups, like we're in warm-ups, the crowd's packed, all white shirts, like
So sick.
yeah, it was just wild experience. And then we go, I can't remember. I think we split 1-1 at home. We go back to Hamilton, and they do like a yellow out, like Nashville. I don't know if you guys seen it, like
Crazy.
the Predators.
Yeah.
Like, and they had the shirts, and it was like, oh my God, like this is wild. Like it's middle of May outside. It's summer, so like me, Brett, the other guys, like we're just hanging out all the time outside, like tanning. Like it was just a wild experience, like playing hockey in May, like unbelievable. So I
Hopping
can't
on the
remember.
PJ.
Yeah, I can't remember how the games went after that, but I remember I think it was 3-1 them, and then we won in this. No, 2-2. Yeah, we split in Hamilton, and then we went back to the Sioux, and they beat us to go up 3-2, and then try and close it out at home in Game 6. And then Game 6, I scored my first shift of that game.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, there's a clip of it somewhere, but I score the goal, this is another funny story actually as I'm talking about it. So I
love
go
it.
like kind of like same thing as the Kitchener game. Like I know I'm gonna play maybe a shift or two in the first and then kind of shut her down, like because
It is what it is. Yeah,
our
let the
top
big
three
boys go.
lines,
Yeah.
top lines are gonna take over. So I go, me, Trotter, and Frosty are on, and Frosty makes the whole play happen. Like I'm just sitting on the doorstep, like just tap it in.
I love
So I
it.
score, like blackout, like I'm going crazy. It's 1-0 earlier in the first. Like we're taking it back to the Sioux. Like that's all going through my mind. I'm like
Right.
taking it back to the Sioux. Like Sioux kid, game 7, gonna be crazy. Like prematurely thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then I get back to the bench and like it starts hitting me. It's like, oh my god, like I might have to play here. Like I might have to keep playing a regular shift.
Yeah.
Like I score or whatever.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, I'm not playing. I'm like, what's going on? And then they send Brett out. Like, and Brett starts going, and like I'm happy for Brett. Like looking back at him, like fucking right. Like
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
on, Brett.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
let's play. And but in
Yeah.
the time, I was like, okay, like whatever. Like after that, I'm like, I still want to win. Like I don't care what happens here. And then we go back in the intermission, like got the Sportsnet camera right up on me in the room, like all this stuff. Like I was just freaking out, like,
Dude.
That's
oh my
wild,
god,
dude.
and I got dry hair, like it's first intermission, my hair's
Get the
bone dry.
the Gato bottle on you.
Yeah, and then I think we went up 2 or 3-1, and then they turned it on in the third. Stillman scored, and then Robert Thomas scored a nasty goal too to tie it, and then they scored one late, and it was, yeah, it hurt to watch, but I mean
No
they were
doubt.
a good team and they deserved it. But yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice for sure. And then we flew back after that. We had a private
Oh my
flight too,
God.
so it was just a great experience overall. So I
Yeah.
could talk about it for hours, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
great.
dude, that's so sick. So sick. What a run. I'm happy that we touched upon that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
me too.
Let's move on a little bit here. What's it like getting coached by Drew Bannister? How is he as a coach?
Yeah, he obviously unbelievable coach. He's
Yeah.
in the American Hockey League right now, so you don't get there by accident. But definitely a different style than the coach I have now. So he's kind of more a little bit not old school, but he doesn't communication wise, it's not as open. Which I mean, that's some coaches'
Mhm.
styles. So, but obviously he could get the best out of a good group of hockey players and good group of teenagers for that matter. So. I respect him a lot. He's really done well. I'm not too sure how he's doing in the AHL, but I mean, he earned that job. So I really, he taught me a lot too. So I really respect him and thank him for that. But yeah, good coach.
Awesome.
And correct me if I'm wrong, MacKay, is what like his type of style is similar to like what Sheldon Keefe was when he was in the Sioux, and apparently from what I've been hearing, like you guys got like yelled at for dumping the puck in. Is that what type of what style he was at?
Yeah, like we talk about it here, like the Sioux Greyhound style play. Like we don't like dumping it in. We don't like
Puck
just giving it
possession, yeah.
back to them. It's very puck possession based, and he was big into that too. And I think that's kind of the culture we have in the Sioux now too. But
Okay.
yeah, I remember my first rookie camp. That was kind of like the thing. Like we have a bunch of these draft picks, like dumping the puck in, and we'd all get in trouble for it. And we're like, we've never heard about this ever. And it was kind of that was all practices where it was not dumping in, like cutting back and regrouping. And so it was a cool thing to learn. That's kind of second nature to me now, but at the time it was different.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then last year, 2019-2020 season, you got awarded to be the assistant captain of the team. Run us through, like, did they tell you in a unique way that you were getting a letter, or was it just you walked into the locker room and found an A on your jersey?
Yeah, that's kind of how it went. I mean, me and Jacob Laguerre to start, we were the only guys to have an A, which is kind of like they never really talked to us about it. It was kind of just we've been there the longest. I don't know, like I don't know the reasoning, but we went probably a month or two with that, just me and Leggy wearing an A, and then they finally they buckled down on a leadership group with O'Rourke, me, Leggy, Cairns, and then Pitlick. I don't know if I'm missing. We had a big one, but yeah, they to me like they just brought me back in, and they're like, "You've been wearing an A all year, like kind of don't really need to have this conversation." But yeah, they didn't really. It wasn't really a big announcement, but for Rourke, it was cool to see like young kid, like he earned it. Like he unbelievable. He's even though he was so young, like he's ahead of his age, and how he plays on the ice and how he carries himself off it is pretty special. So I think moving forward, he'll be a really good leader for us. But no, for me, it was kind of just I had it all from the start of the year, and I kind of just assumed my leadership role from there.
Mm-hmm. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. So that year again, you still put up good points. Like, obviously it sucks this year. Everything gets canceled. Like, where's your head at in this season? Like, what's the next step after the OHL, if you have a season or not? Because I think you have, what, 2 more years counting this whatever bubble season,
Yeah.
if you get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have this year and then an overage season,
Right,
whatever
right.
that has in store. But in terms of, I'll get to this year later, but in terms of me after, I've always been big on my school, and same with my
Good.
parents. It's kind
Mhm.
of just second nature. So that's where I'm kind of leaning right now. Like, obviously, if a contract presents itself, then I'll have to consider that. But right now, my mind's kind of at going to school and get my degree, and then obviously playing CIS hockey at the same time. So
Cool.
starting to explore my options there. And
LU, baby.
yeah,
If we have a
yeah.
team.
But there's some budget cuts going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. Wherever you
Yeah,
get the best offer, go for it. Absolutely.
yeah. I don't know.
Um,
I'll definitely try and weigh hockey and school.
for
Definitely
sure.
school will take priority, but hockey will still want to play. So
Right.
yeah,
You're taking classes right now, right?
yeah. I'll
Yeah.
go with you.
I'll
Best
go
school in the
with you.
north.
That's right, baby. That's
Best
right.
school in the north.
Well, yeah, they're not bankrupt, so that's good. um, let's talk about playing with Jacko, or our boy Jacko. Is there any stories about him? I know he's a quiet guy, probably around the room, and then he gave me some ammo. But if you have any stories, let me know about Jacko.
I think the only thing I could say about that is just the experience that me and Brett had that first year. I
It's
kind of
unique,
touched on
man.
it.
Yeah.
Like it was the blue jersey. So every line, like they have their first line maybe red, second
Right.
white,
Mhm.
and green was third, and then fourth line in our first year was blue. And the way it worked was we come into the room and we'd look at the practice schedule and have the lines on it, and that was
Mhm.
kind of the way you'd fit in for the weekend games or whatever. And me and Brett, it'd say the fourth line, and then the right wing would have 2 slots. So one of us would be on like the 5th row.
Right.
So it was funny every time me and Brett walked in the room. It was kind of like, oh, Brett, we're on blue again, like sharing reps in practice. Like it was
That's
just,
crazy.
we were both in a very similar situation, being rookies and same position and young guys. So I think just the experience overall, we kind of joked about it. We kind of worked with each other to kind of work through the tough times of maybe not playing for a couple weeks
Right.
on end. But there's a couple stories I could say, but really overall, like the best thing I remember was just the experience that we had being
It's
in the same
unique, man.
position.
You
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
never get that experience at anyone else. That's
And
no,
that's weird. And you guys are friends, which is
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
exactly.
Like that. You guys are battling to play in the lineup, and you guys
yeah,
are
no.
good friends still. Yeah,
I'm sure he had some nights where it's like, "Fuck, why is Cole playing?"
for
And I'm
sure.
sure I know I had those nights
For
too.
sure.
But at the end of the day, we go and watch each other, and if you had a good game, we pat each other on the back and say, "Fucking right, do it again tomorrow."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was special. Like I don't know how he's never told me that, but from my experience, like I'm sure that it was very similar. Like
Oh yeah.
when I was playing and he wasn't, it was pretty upsetting. And the same for me. Like we still want each other to do well, but you want to play too. But it was,
Right.
like I said, the experience was, it was something that I'll never forget for sure.
Right. Yeah. Jacko's got a good poker face. He's really not thinking about much all the time. But yeah.
Yeah, different story. But
We'll get
that,
him on. We'll get him on after. Maybe we might have to do a live interview with Jacko and you. I think that'd be electric.
Oh,
Tossing
God.
Whaler too. Unreal.
The next question I have, we're sort of like in the general now, Macker, is like, what would you say your favorite road rink to play in would be? You
I
can, yeah, like
think
London. London
definitely
has to be up
London.
there.
Yeah, London. I've played well in London too, so that helps. But
Mhm.
London's kind of like an NHL rink type
Yeah.
atmosphere, so I like that. And then Kitchener. Hate Sudbury, guys. Sorry. I hate Sudbury and I hate Saginaw, but I do like Kitchener and London. Yeah.
I respect and like that you hate playing in Sudbury. That's I'm a big fan of that. So you already told, and for obvious reasons, you have that story about playing in one of your first games at the Wolves rink, obviously. But do any of the guys talk about the stuffed wolf coming over the bench? Anybody? Because we've talked to like Nick Foligno, Marcus Foligno, the guys they've played against.
Chenier too. Yeah.
Hated seeing that wolf come by. Any thoughts on that? And obviously you got to play with the loud goal horn too at the Wolves. The CP rail.
I think from what I've heard from the boys and myself, I think the goal horn is worse. Like, we hate the goal horn way worse than anything else in that whole rink. But the wolf is something like I might be a little more aware of, because like I used to went to, oh, holy man, I used to go to Wolves game when I was a kid, because I have family in Sudbury.
Right.
So it was always something when we went to the games. They say, "Oh, look at the wolf! Like it's been around forever. Just watch it when the goal scores." So right now, like as a player, like I see it go across, and I'm like, can you get this thing out of here? Like, get a new one at least. Like, I know you guys might love it because it's been around
like
forever.
20 years old.
It's like a pulley system. Like
it's so
like
old.
100. Yeah. But to me, and I think the other boys too, it's like the goal horn is just like the icing on the cake. Like they already score, and do the lights still black out there? Do they do that?
Yes, they do. And they do the spotlight on the
lights go, and the horn, like you gotta go like this. Like
it's a whole theatrics now. It's crazy.
And Chem, if you didn't know, I actually had the opportunity there to play in Telus Cup and scored the first goal for my team, and heard the goal horn, and it
here
was
we go. Here we go.
Did the wolf go?
No.
They didn't have the pulley system for the wolf. No one was working the chains.
That wasn't in the budget in the midget program.
So. No, unreal. I love that. My God, I love that. Okay, what else we got to talk about here? Well, okay, so you kind of talked about a little bit. We'll talk about, like, what's your plan after this? You're talking about school. Like, are you already thinking about schools to go to already, kind of deal?
Yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind. I know, like, the OA season is definitely something that some guys opt out of just to kind of go and get it going, and
start earlier.
Definitely thought about that. But at the same time, what's running through my mind right now is I know I'll be 35 years old and have my 9 to 5 and be like, man, like I wish I played another year. So there's the two sides of it. But at the same time, with COVID and everything, it's hard to say that we'll even play on time next year. So I definitely don't want to sit around and do nothing again next year. So if time starts going on and it's kind of trending the same way where it's going to get postponed and the government can't figure it out, or the league, then I might just have to make that tough decision. But right now it's a long way out, and I don't want to make any decisions right now. Like, my mind's still on the Sioux Greyhounds and trying to go and win a championship here and this year or next year. So that's where I'm at right now. But the other stuff has crossed my mind, and I'm kind of preparing to deal with it. So It's unfortunate, but it's something that I think I gotta think about. So
right. And it looked like the O was very close to getting something done. Obviously this lockdown, I don't know if you've heard anything about it. I'm assuming this lockdown's probably shut down, but the OHL has been very quiet lately.
That to me has been like the most frustrating. Like, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say. Like, I'm not gonna go in.
No. Yeah.
You could tell, like, the emotions. I'm sure if you guys talk to Giroux or all the other guys, in the O, like, we're pretty frustrated with the lack of communication.
Yeah.
We can kind of figure it out with COVID numbers and the lockdown, what's going to happen here. But again, they still haven't told us no yet. So we can't take a break from working out. We can't take a break from trying to get ice. It's kind of, we still have to maintain our like hockey shape. So
you've been in a year-long off season.
Yeah, and if you think about like money and missed opportunities with school and work, and it kind of all adds up, and it's not looking good for how the league looks. But other than that, like, I'm pretty frustrated in the communication aspect of things and how we've kind of been left hanging. And I understand they want to keep it as tight as they can so nothing leaks out and people get upset. But I mean, it's been a long year and pretty frustrating to not know what's going on at this point.
For sure. Yeah. Well, listen, we hope the best. Hopefully you guys get some type of season. And even if it's not a bubble, as long as you guys can play in September, because I mean, you go and play in a bubble for 20 games, like really, I mean, the season's right down the line in September, right? So
Yeah.
we hope the best anyways.
Mhm.
Okay, Macker, let's go into our fast five. So this is our 5 rapid fire questions. Whatever comes on your mind, go for it, let it fly. And we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay.
He's having a
Sounds good.
great hair day today.
Yeah.
Great hair day.
Like that.
Buzzing.
Fresh out of the shower, boys.
Love it. All right, Macker, your go-to pregame meal.
Chicken parm for sure.
Chicken parm.
I
Like
think we
it.
already asked him that in an
Did
old
we?
interview.
I think
know.
we might have,
I've heard
If you
chicken
guys-
but
parm.
he's
you guys are
sticking
in the
to it.
Sioux?
I like it.
If you guys are in the Sioux, go to Muyo's down
Muyo's.
on Queen Street and get their chicken parm. That's what we get.
Muyo's,
Then you'll know.
okay.
Yeah.
I
I'm
remember
more of
that.
a Giovanni's guy. That's the only really place I know. But
Gio's is good.
Okay, next question. Ovi or Sid?
Sid.
Okay.
I don't know what Dubinsky is kind of talking about his ass there.
I know that. Yeah, that's why I brought that question, and I wanted to see your thoughts. All right. Favorite pump up song?
Oh God. I usually say Power, Kanye West, but I mean there's so many that
Yeah.
I know I'll go on my phone and be like, whatever. But I'll just say that one.
Okay. Most memorable goal you've scored in your career?
Probably the one in Hamilton, Game 6 there.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last but not least, your favorite Sioux restaurant?
Fratelli's, right next door to
Fratelli's.
Giovanni's.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Cool. I like it. I like it. Awesome. Okay, Macker. Well, hey, listen, thank you for coming on the pod. Second time now. We actually got a full interview, which I mean the stories are freaking gold, man. Hilarious. So thanks for coming on, and I'll let Tom take it over here. But on behalf of myself, thanks for coming on. And it was a blast, and we'll definitely have you on again for sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Chem, you basically covered it all, but we definitely have to have you on for an in-person. It was good to finally expand it out to the Sioux. I was bugging Alex the last couple of weeks to finally branch out of Sudbury, and this is the first good guest to go out of Sudbury. And yeah, we wish you the best.
No brainer. Our first 2 guests was going to be Cole MacKay. No brainer. Yeah.
Well, we had Marty Turco and Dubas, but we slid.
That's
in
down the
Macker.
line.
We slid in Macker first.
That's right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we wish you the best, buddy. Hopefully this season hopefully gets going. Man, it's tough.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. I've said it before. I love what you guys are doing. It's fun to come out here and have a chat with you guys. But yeah, definitely in the summer, if things start opening up, I can come down to Sudbury and maybe play a round of golf and then sit down and have a chat again. But
Absolutely. Go visit Uncle Robbie Coe.
yeah,
I love it.
The legend.
Yeah, Sudbury legend for sure. Thanks for coming on, Macker.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Take care.